So you clicked on this video because you thought, that looks interesting, but you wonder, how did he pull this off? Well, say no more, because in this video I'm gonna show you step by step how I achieved this look using only one light and how I color graded everything in post. If you don't know me, hey, I'm Konstantin, I'm a filmmaker from Germany and I focus on commercial video production for brands and businesses. And today we're looking at an interview scene that I shot for a local consulting business. This client asked me to do a short documentary about the head of the firm, who you can see in this frame. Without going too much into detail, the story she tells in the interview is very sad and dramatic. But in contrary, it has elements that are linked to show business, which is why we thought there's actually no better way than to shoot this whole thing in an old movie theater. So without further ado, let's jump right to the location. This is so beautiful. Like, look at this. So we have the big stage here. We have all the red seats, the red carpet. It's really old, conservative, like really authentic. And we thought that we're gonna set up the interview right there. Seat number 4. And why? We have a lot of space over here. Johanna's already setting up some tripods here. And we'll have a lot of space over here where we'll also sit behind our cameras. But also what I really liked was that we have those 4 lights in the background, which will actually be our practicals in the shot. Well, I ended up not using those lights, but we'll get to that in a minute. Now I know this setup looks kind of fancy, but I'm telling you, the main tool we used to create the look we were aiming for was our key light, and that's it. I used an Amaran 200X with a big softbox, and with the grid we could really focus the light directly onto her. We placed it in a 45-degree angle to the subject, which created this nice Rembrandt triangle on her shadow side. You can see that technique in a lot of Hollywood movies. For further softening the light on her skin, I also set up a second layer of diffusion right in front of the light. But now you might ask, why is there so much contrast on her face? Well, as I mentioned before, the story she was telling us in the interview was really dramatic and sad. And to enhance that vibe, it wouldn't really make sense to have like a high key lighting setup or too many lights at all. To make it more clear, let me show you this from the ground up. So this is the scene with no lights on at all. And now let's turn on some ambient light. You can see how this gradually illuminates the edge of her head, which gives a nice base and also creates an additional leading line like those seats here to guide your focus directly to her. If we now turn on more background lights, you can already see how bright everything gets. And now imagine turning on the key light as well. This would make us really happy, right? No, because we want tension. So let's turn this background light off again and then turn on the key light. See how contrasty and moody everything suddenly gets? We want a lot of contrast and a lot of shadows, because we like that moody vibe here. In fact, we actually took more light away by placing negative fill right next to her. This was all intentional. Again, we wanted tension, intentional and tension. You get the point. And because the story was so intense, we really leaned into that vibe, into that feeling of like being closed in. That's why for both camera angles, we try to be very tight. 50mm from the side and 35mm, which is actually rather wide, straight on and really close to her. It just feels uncomfortable and like really intimate and you're drawn in, which is basically exactly what we tried to achieve. Also, we wanted both angles on eye level, so your brain doesn't have to work when it comes to switching frames. Oh, and I kinda mentioned it already before. We kept in mind to have some leading lines in the darkness for both angles. That way, the viewer is guided directly where he's supposed to be looking. Once everything was wrapped up, I applied my standard workflow in post, which goes like this. First, we need to convert the flat-looking log image, in my case S-Log3 as Gamma 3 Cine, to the Rec 709 color space, and maybe do some adjustments in exposure, contrast, and saturation that just feel good to me. Then, what I always do is check my white balance. And if not already set correctly during production, I would do some minor tweaks here as well. After that, what I always do is checking the skin tones in the vector scope and do some adjustments if needed. And finally, to get the creative look, I don't know what that was. I smashed one of my signature LUTs on it to enhance the overall mood that we want to have. I mean, if you look at this to me just feels exactly right for this kind of situation. So yeah, I guess I'm pretty happy about what we achieved here. And as you can see, sometimes all that's needed is basically just a cool location and one light. And with that, I would say that's it for this one. And as always, I guess I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.